You might wonder whether this class is for you. We do look for students who have computer programming. Yeah, usually R and Python programs are the ones we're going to use for this course. We also hope that you have basic molecular biology and genomics background, because we will be covering a lot of biology, especially on gene expression, epigenetics, gene regulation, GWAS studies, and also cancer genomics and cancer immunology. So I think knowing some good molecular biology would definitely be helpful. And also we need students to have some basic statistics. For example, do you know how to do hypothesis testing to understand different distributions, intuition between those distribution and statistical tests? And so these are some of the requirements in the course. So in this class, we are going to cover the major questions and major solutions in computational biology, especially those that are related to gene regulation, whether in normal physiological situations or diseases. We will cover the intuition behind many of the algorithms behind it, but we're not going to ask students to develop those algorithms. That's really too hard. Instead, we will teach you hands-on skills to at least play with your data, maybe write some simple codes to manipulate your data, and then say convert your data into certain formats so that you can run some published algorithms. So we'll teach you a lot of hands-on skills in data analysis and running algorithms. So hopefully that you can learn how to troubleshoot, how to understand the README, how to run a new program that you have never tried before, and how to look at the results. This is not a course for statistical theory or deductions. And so if that's what you are looking for, this is really the wrong course for you. We will be covering different kind of major biological areas, the genomic techniques that were used there, the different data types that are generated, the different computational algorithms that are used to make sense out of that data and show you how to run it. That's kind of what this course will teach you. If you want to see whether your biology, statistics, or computer skills, whether it's sufficient, I would encourage you to look at homework 1, which we have already released, which will be due in 2 weeks' time. No matter how long it takes you, the remaining homework, 2 to 6, will take at least twice as long. And so homework 1 will really give you a sense, are you prepared? Can you really handle it? I would argue though, that if you want to study medicine or biology, computational biology is going to be one of the most useful skills you're going to have. And for that, I'm going to quote Sidney Brenner. So he is a Nobel laureate in 2002. So he won the Nobel Prize for identifying every individual cell in the C. elegans worm. And so basically from one in the embryonic stem cell, how this cell goes through, basically lineage tracing, figure out, all the 900 cells, where they go later. And so he won the Nobel Prize in that. And this is a biologist who did experiments throughout his life. And in a 2008 interview, he said that we presently have huge amounts of data that are largely unassimilated. I have discovered that while there are rewards for collecting data and distributing data, there is little, if any, support for organizing it. It is what I call low input, high throughput, no output science. I think this really says, emphasize the importance of computational biology and bioinformatics. It's really essential in understanding the data. By the way, low input, high throughput, and no output science is something, say, a scientist before doing an experiment are not really thinking. They just say, oh, I have this interesting sample, let's just throw it into the sequencer and see what we get. So they generate a lot of data, and then they also don't know how to do computational analysis. So at the end, it's really a data paper with no real findings, and so there's no output science. And so I would say computational biology is really, really important, because right now, new experimental techniques are being invented all the time. They are so powerful in discovery, and yet they generate a lot of data. And so before designing an experiment, think carefully what this technique will really give me, how to really design the experiment. But then once you get the data, either learn the computational analysis yourself or collaborate with a computational biologist so that you can make sense out of your data and really answer some important biological questions, and think hard, and have the necessary skills to design a cost-effective experiment and really reach some real insights. Because of this, in 2017, another colleague of mine, Florian Markowitz from University of Cambridge, published another paper called "All Biology is Computational Biology." As we mentioned, so many powerful techniques now generate high throughput data. It's not uncommon for an experimental biologist to spend a few months to learn a new technique, to do the experiment well, to generate robust results. However, if they don't know computational biology, they could spend even more time in front of a computer, staring at a screen, trying to understand whether their experiment worked, what result was actually generated, what's the important hits, what's the insights that's coming from their own data. And very often the speed of the analysis and also the effectiveness of the experimental computational integration is key to the discovery and also the eventual publication of the study. If you don't know how to analyze the data, you can be totally scooped by another group that did the exact same experiment but can analyze their data faster. And so for an experimental biologist or somebody who is going to medical school, you should ask yourself, can I afford not to learn computational biology? This course is hard. You will spend a lot of time doing the homework and learning the different algorithm and troubleshooting. But think about the months and months of work spent to learn one molecular or genetics experimental technique. You still have to also work day and night to learn as well. And so for this course, I would say bite the bullet, learn it well. If you can do it well in this course, you will never be afraid of big data in biology in the future.